sensational, this for Barrett. Oh, it's gone, it's gone. It was close to perfection. Got it, brilliant, stunning. American dominance continues. And that could be the pin that secures the win.
Welcome to day 3 of the Weber Cup, where America have one hand on the trophy they last held back in 2012. Needing just 2 wins for victory, let's remind ourselves of the story so far.
Team USA always seem to do better than Team Europe in Baker matches. But an open frame has more or less gifted this first Baker match to Team Europe.
Just crazy scores.
It really is. Oh, it's gone, it's gone. It was close to perfection from Anthony Simonson.
Well, it's 9 frames in a row without a strike. And there's the spare, the 2 and the 10 from Jones, just showing off. It's much too much for Stu Williams.
We're here to play this year. We're here to play. Let's go.
American dominance continues in the early going. And he's got the messenger to kick out that 10. Oh, you don't want to be doing that against Stu Williams. You might end up in the car park. He must take all 10 just to keep this alive. And he's left the corner 10. Well, 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 what a big win that is. And I tell you, Europe are clinging on by their fingernails here. Here we are, dead level again. Huge pressure on the European skipper here. And that was a shocker. And I think that's the match gone. Wave the white flag, get me out of here. Barrett has got some serious thinking to do. This man is simply unstoppable right now. Back in business, back in cruise control. So here's Troup. We're overdue a strike, and Europe have to strike to claim the win here.
Must be a strike.
He's due a strike, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
It's a point for Team USA.
This is terrible, terrible luck for Don Barrett. Well, it's looking to just shut the door, lock it, and throw away the key. Barrett looking for the 5-bagger. Oh, this is brilliant. Absolutely sensational, this for Barrett. Without question, Don Barrett's best individual performance. This for the match. It's missed.
Needs to be good.
And is. We go to a roll-off for the second time today. This for the match. Got it. Brilliant. Stunning from Don Barrett. He has won 2 roll-offs that could yet prove vital.
I think this guy could be part machine. Meant to do a blood test out there.
It's another point in the ledger for the Americans. They are looking simply unstoppable. There's another perfect hit. That's a good response. Yeah, really good response. Team Europe close to being done right now. America back in business.
America have dominated every session at this year's tournament, and having claimed 3 wins so far on this final day, now find themselves on the cusp of victory, needing just 2 more points to end Europe's 5-year reign at the Weber Cup. Coming up later, Barrett and Svensson take on Troup and Barnes in the doubles. But first to the lane, Stuart Williams faces Tommy Jones.
watching the guys in the golf. They were in 45th place at the start of the day, and then they were suddenly in the lead going into the final day. So that was pretty cool. And then of course, Rocky was on in the bar, and we were laughing because Apollo Creed was throwing the blows at Rocky, and we were just saying that was Dom in the last 2 games. He was taking all the blows, and then he came back swinging to win the roll-off.
I didn't bowl very well yesterday, but you know, it's one of those things. I didn't really like the pattern that we bowled on the last night, or the second session. Even though we chose it, it's just one of those things where I just didn't execute very well.
It's 1 point for the win with 19 needed to lift the trophy. The matches are played over 10 frames with a strike worth 30. And your commentators are Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
It's a packed house. It only takes one person to be moving in the bowler's line of sight to put you off.
Yeah, actually, I think it was a baby that cried.
Yeah, well, you can't be dissing a baby. Well, that's exactly what it was. Well, that's what he needed. Get the ship sailing out of harbour and see how far you can take it.
Yeah, great looking shot from Stewart as an opener. Rips the rack. The 10 pin's the last to go, but it counts as 10. And those guys like it.
So we had a lot of trouble with the 10 pin in that last match, and that has carried over into singles play.
Well, you called it, Nick. Yeah, it wasn't a bad looking shot. It was just the angle that it came in. That's why that 10 pin is rung there. And of course, it was a soft speed. See the big ring of oil on Tommy Jones's bowling ball. Takes the spare nicely, but it just shows how much oil there is down on the lane and how much that these balls soak it up every time the ball is rolled down there.
Williams goes the other way and leaves the 7 standing, so once again we're seeing this being a corner pin fest.
Yeah, the look on his face looked quite disgusted. It is light on the head pin, but you would hope that somebody would jump around that 7 pin and take it out, and he's not very happy with that at all. I don't think it's the fact that the 7 pin's standing, it's the fact that he didn't hit the pocket well. Takes the spare out there.
Well, there is the danger of thinking the world's against you sometimes because they've not had the breaks. So what he has to do here, Tommy Jones, is just get himself in the strike zone to stay level. And once again, it's that 10. I mean, this is extraordinary.
Well, there was an awful lot of rotation on that ball. It just ripped back from the outside part of the lane. Again, it's the angle coming in that's doing the damage. It's just not getting the correct deflection on the 3 pin onto the 6 pin. So again, the corner pin stands up. It can only be a spare.
And there it is. And that's a lot of corner pins Tommy Jones has left up this afternoon. Won't do his mood any good.
Well, the thing is, what do? Do you stay where you are and hope that you're going to ring the 10 pin out, or do you make some big change with a view to changing the angle of entry to the pocket?
That's exactly what he is talking over now. So Williams has really got to capitalise on this. That's what you got to do.
Big shot from Stu. Oh, a bit of fist pumping as well. High flush pocket hit, takes all 10 pins away.
Well, Tommy Jones must be wondering what he has to do to take all 10.
Well, he's changed his ball by the look of it. And that'll do nicely. Certainly a powerful looking shot. Oh, deep angle in behind that head pin. So Tommy's started, and we know what he can do. Retains the nickname Mr. 300 from previous Weber Cups.
Well, he's been Mr. 300, hasn't he? 4 of them he's got. We've only had 6 in the history of the competition. None here this weekend. Yeah, he just slipped out of line there, didn't he? Didn't quite get a clean pocket connection there.
Yeah, showing us by his hand action that it didn't quite come off his hand properly. Whether that's the reason for the tenpin standing or not, it wasn't a perfect pocket shot, but I'm sure he can straighten this one out with a harder spare ball. It'll go a lot straighter across the lane.
He walked away in disgust. So it's been strike spare for Williams. Jones opened up with a couple of 9 spares, changed ball, got a very clean, good-looking strike.
Yeah, another strike here will be 2 in a row for him, and will tie the match.
No. That was a false dawn for Tommy.
Very much an overreaction in the back end. Not quite sure whether he got it as wide as he did on the previous shot, but yes, he did. But it's just kicked into the back end there. Overreaction leaves the 3, 6 and the 10, which should be pretty straightforward spare for the likes of Tommy Jones.
Oh my goodness me.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Can't be missing those. Tommy's Weber Cup is starting to spiral downwards.
Welcome back to the final day of the Weber Cup, where Team USA leads 17-8 in the overall standings, but trail Europe by 21 pins in this singles match between Stuart Williams and the American Tommy Jones. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Look at that, look at the angle he took there. How wide did that go?
Can't really describe that one. It's a perfect shot. Ball just took the 8-pin away at the last minute. Stu must be feeling better and better as this game goes along, gaining in confidence.
Helped, it has to be said, by playing someone who's just not brought his A game today. And again, can't find all 10. The 4-pin didn't want to know.
Yeah, you say he hasn't brought his A game. He's struggling with his B game at the moment. Not over keen on this long oil pattern. Other guys talking about plan B now.
Well, I got the sense there that they were maybe even thinking about the rest of the session on this lane. And yeah, anytime the captain has to step in like that, that's a what's going on conversation, isn't it?
Superman speaks. Big ball for Stewart.
Well, it's amazing how the strikes come easy when the opponent is all at sea.
Yeah, Stewart's starting to enjoy himself at last. Absolutely shreds the rack with that pin. Extends the lead. Possibility of Team Europe picking up another point here.
Well, I'll be staggered if that doesn't happen, because poor old Tommy here is just suffering. Takes all 10 there, but that's only his second strike out of 6.
Europe with a 22-point lead.
Well, that's a surprise right there, that it's still relatively close. It's not over yet, is it?
Well, no, as we've said, and it showed with Jones, an open frame anywhere can make such a huge difference with this scoring system. One strike is 30. 9 spare is 19, so there's 11 pins difference in a closely fought spare or a strike. Stewart looking for 3 in a row. Down on one knee.
And his prayers were answered.
A little bit of showboating there from Big Stu.
You know, it's not the Weber Cup without a bit of Stu Williams fist pumping, is it? Come on, big fella. I'm sure Chris Barnes is thinking, come on, TJ. What's going on? Double up. Make him work for this. He's just not there today. He is not there.
No, this game is gone, and I think they know it as well. I think they're going to have to let this one go and give one to Europe. Tommy's got the 3-6-10. The spare that he missed earlier on in frame 4.
Well, Chris Barnes must be very relieved that there's such a healthy cushion still here, because Jones has gone right off the boil, which, if this was a tight match, that could present him with a real problem in the Sunday evening session.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't expect Tommy Jones to be suffering the way he is, or certainly not able to get his A game going, as you've said.
But his body language is poor. He didn't look good yesterday. This is a carryover. This is not a shock to see him suffering, as you say, like this. It's a gift for Stu Williams.
Well, Stu's coming back with a pretty big game here, so it's going to do his confidence a world of good.
There's another. There's another, the 4-bagger for Stu Williams.
Well, Stu's a natural strike maker out on tour and in tournaments, but he's suffered a little bit so far this weekend, but he's getting it together this game, and the confidence is showing.
I mean, you just want it to be over for Tommy Jones, don't you? It's painful to watch this.
Well, he wants it over as well. He knows it's gone. Couple of corner pins left.
Well, this is a guy who's been bowling 300s with his eyes closed over his career.
Too late for tactics in this game.
I think it's more than that, isn't it, Kaz? It's just a sort of... It's interesting that Chris Barnes is doing virtually all the talking there as well, but there's a chance they may still need Tommy Jones. When the luck's with you, the luck is with you. I think even an open frame wouldn't have given the Americans much of a chance there as it is. Williams has managed to get himself out of trouble by taking 9.
Yeah, Stewart's looking loose now. He knows he's got victory.
That seals it. There is nothing Jones can do from here.
Yeah, low fives all round for the Europeans and high fives as well. He's going to be 260 with the strike, 267 game. Just what Stewart wanted, just what Team Europe wanted.
I suspect we'll be leaving Tommy Jones alone at the end of this match, though, in terms of his thoughts and reactions. Probably best to give Tommy a wide berth for a few minutes once this one's over.
Yeah, you wouldn't go and ask for an autograph, would you?
It wouldn't be a good move. Tommy, a very affable guy. But there's an awful lot of frustration and disappointment there right now. No disappointment or frustration for Stu Williams. Celebrated that one halfway down the lane. And he takes another big one. Guy Kaminski pointed out earlier that when Europe win a point, they have to bowl a 260 to get it. Actually, a 220 would have won this one, but it's another 260, 267 now. And Tommy Jones can let this go off his fingers and get out of town. Finishes with a double. Again, all the pressure's off. The strikes come, but way, way, way too late. He just about saves face with the 221, but that was not Tommy Jones at his best. And that's another important point for Team Europe. They stay alive here, but there's still a long, long, long road back in this race to 19. It's the USA that need 2 more for victory.
Welcome back to the Arena MK in Milton Keynes, where a massive win for Europe's Stuart Williams has put the brakes on any US celebrations at this year's Weber Cup. The 6-time winner is now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Stu, you're not letting this one go without a fight, are you?
No, I mean, we're trying our best. I think I probably got their best guy at that point, you know. Tommy's been struggling pretty much as we have. I tried to just slow down and bowl like Anthony's been bowling, and I think that was the right thing to do on that lane, and that's one of the few things that I'm better than Tommy at doing, so I had a pretty big advantage.
So you're taking some lessons from the USA team. Just the 10 points needed to keep your hands on that Weber Cup. Can you do it?
Yeah, well, we're going to try, and I mean, there's nothing worse than a chirpy American, so we've got to slow them down a little bit.
I know you love some fighting talk. Thanks very much, Stu.
Can Europe dare to believe, or has the American victory merely been put on ice? Let's find out as Dom Barrett and Jesper Svensson take on the American pair of Kyle Troup and Chris Barnes.
Yeah, you know, the thought of loss, I think that does drive you a little bit. And that's where we are right now. You know, that fear of losing, we don't want to lose. I certainly don't want to lose. I know Martin's never experienced a loss, neither has Jesper. Stu once, you know, when he bowled years and years ago, and I had it a few years back too. So we hate that feeling. The other guys haven't experienced it yet, and we don't want them to. So that's a big driving factor for us of finding a way to win today.
To win the Weber Cup, yeah, it would mean everything. You know, to be here twice already and to really get beat up pretty bad the last 2 years, not really having too much of a chance the last day. Not only to be leading right now, but to bring the cup home back to the United States in the Europe string, you know, would really mean a lot and really show, I believe, we have a good team here and we could be here to stay for a while.
A quick reminder that it's 1 point for the win, with 19 needed to lift the trophy. The matches are played over 10 frames with a strike worth 30, and your commentators are Guy Kaminski and Nick Halling.
Just a glimmer of hope here, and that hope rather increased by the fact that Tommy Jones is having such a tough time, but still, if you were going to be in one of the captain's shoes, you wouldn't want to be in this man's shoes right now, because they still need an awful lot of luck. They need help. They need every break to go their way. It's America's Weber Cup to lose, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. I don't actually know what the difficulty is. I mean, it's quite simple by looking at the stats. Shoot 260 or more, and you've got a chance of winning a point.
260 or more. It's crazy, isn't it? The standard has just been so high this weekend.
Yeah, and for me, this match is all about Chris Barnes. He holds the key here because we know he's going to, you know, he's got the thumb on the ball. He doesn't quite have the same kind of power. And when you've got this alternating frame, if you're not striking to let your partner get up in the lane, and you're leaving corner pins, which we've seen quite a few of so far, particularly now that the lane's had a bit of play now. The players having to move quite a bit more left. You saw Stu there really go left and really hook the lane, and that is not Chris Barnes' A game.
No, not at all. Good to see Tommy Jones staying with the team as well, rather than just going and sitting quietly and feeling sorry for himself. Here he is, trying to contribute, trying to give whatever help and support he can. Just be an extra pair of eyes out there for the team.
It's so important, really, that feedback you get from what you experienced on the lane. And we haven't seen that from a USA team before. It's always kind of been man alone out there.
Yeah, they have been a quartet right from the very, very start of this. And whilst Simonson has hit some incredible high notes, it's the rock-solid, steady play of Kyle Troup that has just kept the Americans cruising along.
So the big thing here is that I feel that the Europeans will probably go for the slow hook. Obviously not for Jesper, he's on the left-hand side, but Dom will probably go with a slow hook. He's really good at it. Now, Kyle is he's not a slow hooker. He's a real up and in. He's got a lot of ball speed, a lot of rev rate. He's not great at slowing it down like Simonson, who's unbelievable at it. But so Barney and Troup, this is not going to be their A game. This is advantage Europe.
Well, he's not been on the losing side too many times, Kyle Troup, has he? And as you say, Svensson, it's very interesting to see where he comes into the rotation, because he's due to play singles next as well. So back-to-back wins here for Europe, and it certainly won't be a crisis for the Americans, but they're getting closer.
And we spoke about it earlier. We said that he used that lock, that reactive ball, and he really wanted to use the urethane. They lost that game with the reactive. He went to the urethane against Simonson, brought the point home. So I assume now we're back to the pitch black, back to the urethane for Svensson. There it is.
Yeah, I think Jesper made his point. Wasn't it incredible, his reaction as well, when he won that match?
Yeah, it was incredible.
I mean, who was that? I mean, you know, talk about a transformation.
Well, nobody enjoys getting beat up out there. And these guys desperately want to win. So people at home, don't think that these guys aren't doing everything in their power to try and win these points.
Yeah. We've got to win this one. But
even Dom feels like he can win this game. He's saying that they're going to win this one. He's pretty confident. And we've seen when Dom gets confident how good he can be.
He's a handful. So it's another big point up for grabs, and Kyle Troup will get the party started with a 9. There was some flossing going on with that pin there, but it wouldn't take out the 7.
You see, on the long lane pattern, I think the ball speed really seems to be the highlight, the key from our Specto stats here. I'd like to know what ball speed they really went down at compared to we saw Stu in the previous match. I think keeping the ball speed down is key. Stats in there, Nick, sorry to cut you off. 6 kilometers an hour faster than what the ball speed Stu is using. That is significant.
That's right. That's a major difference.
In bowling terms, that's major. I mean, 2 kilometers an hour is big,
yeah.
But 6 is massive. Every one of us out here, well, us, every one of them out there, have an A game, the way they prefer to attack a lane. The real good players, B and C games, as good as their A's.
Ooh, now that particular spare has caused some problems this weekend.
Yeah, it has, and also more difficult for a left-hander.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
But you can see what he tried to do there. He tried to really get the ball away from the pocket and try and bring it back.
Yeah, Jesper has probably shot a filthy look at his skipper for leaving him this. It's makeable, but very missable too.
Yeah, it's getting the 8-pin that's behind. That's the tricky. And there it is.
There it is.
And this is what's happened. The theme of the whole weekend is that they get behind so early and it makes it so difficult for them.
Leave each other impossible spares.
Oh, I wish you had done longer than this.
That was interesting.
Yeah, Dom's saying he's leaving him impossible space.
But he also said I need to bowl it slower, a bit slower, like Stu Williams suggested. So there is a lot of input coming in.
Yeah, well, we'll keep the Specto stats going and try to see if that ball speed comes down.
Well, one of Barrett's great skills, and indeed any bowler at this level, is the ability to adjust and react very quickly indeed. So don't be at all surprised if we see exactly that right here. Does he take a bit off this ball?
Yeah, good shot there. But he's really trying to bring the ball in from quite a wide angle.
That one was my speed, I think. That was a little wide.
Yeah, he said it went a little wide as well. Maybe not as wide as he wanted. The only problem is when you're trying to keep the ball speed down and you get closer to the end of the game and your adrenaline starts pumping, trying to keep the ball speed down is pretty tough.
Ooh, Barnes just straight out of the pocket there.
Here you see Barnes' line of attack. He's trying to play it pretty straight. Stay in the track.
Never happens. I actually thought too much of it.
Well, Barnes able to see the funny side, but you don't want to waste Kyle Troup bowling at single pins.
And that's why we said he's going to be the key to this match for USA. But we know that Troup's going to strike.
But to strike, he's got to avoid being left spares.
Yeah, Chris saying
up in the 400s and stuff there.
He nailed that one. Thinks he's up in the 400 rev rate. We'll see what Specto says about that. But Barney normally in the 380 zone, 370 revs.
So open frame followed by a strike for Team Europe. Is this a double? Svensson makes sure it is.
It's amazing to see a ball that's urethane on 45 foot of oil hit the pins that hard. It's really incredible.
Pins flying around too.
Never been so happy to be in commentary or presenting and not out there bowling against these young kids. They are so good.
Well, the one thing he doesn't want is to leave a single pin standing, and he's managed to kick out that 10.
Yeah, good shot there from Chris.
Shot.
Yeah, everyone's working on trying to keep their speed levels down. That ball's a bit slower from the previous one.
Stay after it.
I'll say, yeah, you come tackling pretty good too.
Yeah. We're just going to keep going all in.
All in Barnes.
Nobody knows it if I don't say it. So.
Yeah, Barrett seems to have mastered the speed of that ball there. Another beautiful pocket hit.
That's a great shot there by Dom. I'm pretty sure he'll enjoy watching this replay of the ball going through the pins here. Watch the ball split, the 8-9. Oh, that is as good as it gets.
Welcome back to day 3 of the Weber Cup, where the US are just 2 wins away from victory. On the lane at the moment, there's nothing to separate the sides as Barrett and Svensson for Europe take on Troup and Barnes for the USA.
Well, now he leaves at 10.
See, I think that's because of ball speed there. I'm pretty sure Carl's getting it down faster than the other chaps. Yeah, he's 2 mile an hour, which is like 3 kilometers, I guess, than everybody else on the lane right now.
But that's his natural game, though, isn't it? I mean, you don't want to deviate too far from your natural game, otherwise you're leaving the door open for things to start going wrong.
No, spot on. And the reality is they can afford to stick to the natural game, and that's what the Europeans do. When you're chasing, you start trying to do something different, and we saw it with that Stu game with Dom. They looked the same. They were trying to find the strikes, and in doing that, they got those, 2 open frames, which really hurt them. The strike here really puts the pressure on USA, and we'll see if that forces them to do anything different. But I fully suspect with Barnes' experience, he'll just keep doing what he's doing, and he's happy if he shoots 240 and they bowl better. Good luck to them.
Well, there's no doubt about that at all.
Yeah, another great shot. These guys want it so bad, they are not enjoying this beating they're getting at all.
Yes, you get the sense they laugh and joke about it, put a brave face on it, but they're hating it.
That's all you really can do. You can't say much if the scoreboard says you're getting absolutely hammered out.
Well, again.
Carbon copy of the previous ball, no adjustment. So at this stage in the game, they're quite happy to concede, take the 9s, and see if Europe open the door for them. And historically, Europe have always made a mistake somewhere in the game.
So Barnes will have to clean up again. But I wonder if they will have a little conversation now about why Troup is leaving that single pin in the corner.
Good pitch. So throw it again. I mean,
Well, he said he's going to throw it again.
Yeah.
No change.
Not changing anything.
No panic from their side, which is probably the way to go. And now also, if you look at the Europeans, they're going one shot because they're striking. Dom and Jesper sharing the frame, which is great. But Barney now hasn't bowled a frame now, potentially if Carl strikes in 4 frames. Maybe he doesn't strike, it could be 5 frames.
Well, as you say, both the Europeans in the zone at the moment, staying there the key.
Well, we know that Carl's going to go with the same again. But I've got to say that it doesn't look like 9s are going to cut it now for their next strikes.
No, it
strike
doesn't.
or nothing now.
No. No, not with a 4-bagger racked up by the Barrett-Svensson partnership, and all of them really good hits as well. Ooh, glum faces on the American side. Haven't seen that too often this weekend. Troup changes nothing except, did he change the line a little bit?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he said he gave that one a little more, got it up, hooked a bit earlier, got it high in the head pin. Perfect strike there. Guys enjoyed that. Now tough for Barney now to get up after having not bowled in 4 frames.
That's the normal translation. Even with their thumb in it, that's their translation.
at least
I move a
one.
half, they move 2.
Yeah.
I move 1, they move 4.
Let's give a chance here.
Oh, they really are dialed on here.
And these have been the 2 best players for Europe by a country mile this weekend. And it just shows, and it's amazing when you're on good form, when you're playing well, how easy it looks.
Steady.
Just look how relaxed and enjoying it they are.
But it's still only 20 pins. And that's where USA have been so good. They've given no freebies away. They've had to shoot 260 every time to win a point.
But Barnes has to strike, and does. So they haven't quite gone yet, as you say. They've got to rack up another big score here.
This is when sweaty palms start happening, when you're coming down the home straight, 3 frames to go.
No, first 2, we got the 5.
And USA are knocking on the door. steely eyes of Superman there, Clark Kent.
Yeah, no stopping them. Yet another.
Dom must be so used to these close matches now.
Well, he must be very frustrated that this is even a close match. Remember, they opened up with an open. Since then, it's been strikes all the way.
Yeah, 279 pace. 263, the magic number.
Something like that.
Yes, the Americans making a nuisance of themselves here, waiting for the slip-up.
Oh, critical shot here for Jesper. I mean, he can't shut them out with the strike, but he can go a long way to taking the pressure off Dom in the 10th frame. If only they could go back in time and change that ball in that first game.
Oh, if only life was that simple. Is it Bella? Yes, it is. That's 8.
He knows how important that is. All right, just about any spare now will get them over the line. Not even a spare, they just need 8 pins in total here. Gets them 257, max score for USA 256.
Well, Barnes knows this is completely out of his control, but still, there's a little flash of defiance. As you say, it's typical America. They've bowled a 256.
And all you can do is don your cap to them and say, well played, boys, you're better than us,
yeah,
but we're going to keep shooting 250s, and you're going to have to do that 10 more times to get close.
Tall, tall order. But the point here at least takes Team Europe into double figures. I don't suppose they expected to wait until the latter stages of the 4th session to get into double figures. That's enough, that's fine, they're okay, they win. It's going to be the 260 score again, isn't it?
And it is, keeping our average going. I think the previous games too, we had 267, 268 here. We have been treated to some magnificent bowling here this evening.
There it is, it's a 268 and a 12-pin win for a European team that isn't happy to concede the Weber Cup quite yet. They're still alive, still kicking, still fighting.
A closely fought encounter finally won by a relieved Team Europe, whose captain Dom Barrett is now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Are we about to see one of the biggest comebacks in Weber Cup history?
Well, I'd like to say yes, but all we can do is go out there and play the best game we can, get every point. And then that's what we did last time we did it. We didn't really think about the results. We just thought about that one match at a time. You know, I hate the cliches, but today's going to be captain cliche. One match at a time, just take every point we can get, and you never know.
Now, Europe are known for doing so well in the doubles. The rest of the matches, that we've got a singles match now, it'll be singles later on this evening. Is there a bit of a worry that, yes, you've monopolised, you've got the points where you can, but come the singles sessions, we've seen how strong the USA have been this weekend?
Yeah, we've seen the USA have been really strong, but actually I think what the Europeans are known for is our heart and what we bring into the lane as the weekend goes on. And now it's getting really close to the end for them, and that's the hardest matches. They're going to find that out. We know that the last 5 years. The hardest ones to win are the ones that make you get over the line and get you close to that line. But we know the pressure they're going to feel because we're going to get closer and closer. And right now, we don't have anything to lose. They're 2 points away. We're plenty. But the more matches you win, the more points you get, closer it gets. And then, was it squeaky bum time? Who knows?
I think you've just successfully heaped a bit more pressure on Team USA. Thanks, Tom.
2 massive wins for Europe bring the defending champions back from the brink of defeat. Can Jesper Svensson, who takes on Chris Barnes in the final match of the session, and Dom Barrett, who opens the next against Kyle Troup, help maintain Europe's momentum? Or will America have enough to wrap up the victory? We'll find out next time.